So if you take all the self-improvement stuff out there, if you take all the CDs, the DVDs, if you take all the seminars and you strip out all the hype, all the BS, all the fluff, all the filler, there's only three things. There's only three steps that you need to take in order to get uncontrollably wealthy in anything and everything you do. And it doesn't matter the success that you've had or you haven't had. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter the connections you have or you don't have. It doesn't matter your age, your sex, where you're located at. It doesn't matter if your skin color is white, black, purple, green, pink, or rainbow. As long as you do these three steps and you follow these three steps, you will get wealthy. I don't know anyone, and I know a lot of people that have done these three steps and they haven't gotten unbelievably, uncontrollably, extremely wealthy. What are the three steps? Well, the first step is knowing the right actions to take. Getting rich is simply a series of actions. But the first thing is you have to know the right actions. If you do the wrong actions, then you will get the wrong results and you will have pain and you won't get rich. And a lot of people overlook this. It's very important to make sure that you know the right actions to take to get rich. So what's an action? Well, if you said, Aaron, I want you to make a sound. I clap my hand. Clapping my hand was an action that produced the result that I wanted, which was to make a sound. Right? If you said, hey, Aaron, what's something I can do to get healthy? I would say, eat lots of, eat salad and meat. Not fried chicken or anything, but eat salad and meat and run 5 miles a day. Those actions of eating, the salad and running 5 miles a day is going to get you healthy. It's doing those actions. Getting rich is the same thing. Getting rich is simply a series of actions. But you have to know the right actions. So I spend a lot of my time very picky about who I learn from and who I study and who I listen to and who I take advice from on the subject of getting wealthy and really getting anything that I want in life. I only learn from people who have gotten what I wanted. Not people that are selling books to teach me to get what I want, but they've never gotten it themselves. I don't study those people, right? If I want to learn business, I'm not going to go to college and take a class from a professor who has never started a business in his life and has just read books on business. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to find someone that's had a business, has a successful business, and study what they do. Donald Trump, I believe he started off with $1 million, which isn't bad, right? $1 million he started off, but he grew that to like $10 billion or something crazy like that. So if I want to get business advice, Donald Trump has owned a bunch of businesses. Do I want to go to a professor at the community college who the closest he's gotten to from starting a business is going to the local bakery to pick up bread, or do I want to learn from someone like Donald Trump? I want to learn from from Donald Trump because he's actually done it. He knows what works, right? And that's why you see I got, where's it at? See, I got a Donald Trump book right back there, right? That's something that you want to do. You only want to take advice from people who have gotten what you want. And there's lots of people that are going to tell you stuff to try to make you feel good, right? There's lots of people that are going to, they're going to give you advice, but always ask yourself, always have a conversation going on in your mind, always have the thought, does this person have what I want? If they don't, why would you take advice from them? So, like, I was talking to this guy that weighs, let's see, how much do he weigh? He probably weighs about 350 pounds, this big guy. And I was telling him how I eat eggs, and he was asking me what I had for breakfast. It's not like I was even telling him, but I told him how I eat eggs every day for breakfast, okay? Well, he went on this big tangent about how eggs are bad for you. Well, what? So, fuck him, all right? Now, he was cool. I talked to him, but I'm not going to take advice from him. I'm not going to say, oh, maybe eggs are bad for you. Because he's a gazillion pounds heavier than I am. So because of that, why would I take advice from him on how to be healthy? Because he doesn't have what I want, right? And this is important because if you take the wrong advice from people, you're going to do the wrong things and you're going to get pain. If I told you, you know what, in order to get rich, you need to do, You need to run from one side of America to the other. Well, if you did that, you would put in a lot of work. You would be taking lots of action. You'd be taking massive action. But when you got to the other side of America, you wouldn't have any more money. You wouldn't be rich. And then you'd get mad. Then you'd have pain. Now, that's a silly example, but that's how a lot of people look at this. They get advice from the wrong people. Then they take that advice that's wrong, they execute on it, then they get that wrong results, and then they have pain, then they have frustration. That's why I didn't start teaching people how to get wealthy and wealth creating principles till I had started a bunch of businesses, right? You guys know my story. I've started over 10 businesses. I've started over a dozen businesses in the last 15 years. I started the restaurant. I started the kiosk at the mall. I started the promotional company. I started the detail shop. It was right around 6 months after I started that detail shop. I was making $100,000 a year, working 12 hours a week, in addition to another business I had that was making six figures as well, right? So I didn't want to teach people advice till I had actually had the experience, because why would you want to do that? So that's the first thing. You have to get the right advice so you know the right actions. Then the second thing, and this is going to be a little bit simpler, but you have to actually execute. You actually have to do it. You have to go out there and make it happen. So once you know the right stuff, right? So you said, all right, Aaron, I want to get rich. And maybe you've been listening to videos on someone on how to get rich. Or maybe you've read a book from maybe Donald Trump, right, on how to get rich, right? Donald Trump has gotten rich. I've read a lot of Donald Trump's books, some of them multiple times. And his books are really easy to understand. They're easy reads. They have very good principles. I've used his principles in, a lot of, right away. They're very easy to implement principles that aren't very complicated. If they were complicated, I'd implement them anyway. But if you want an easy thing, his books are easy to read, right? But once you know the stuff, the second step is to execute it. You actually have to do it. You have to go out there and do the action. So if maybe one of the things is you have to make a website, right? So you read some stuff and you say, you know what? I need to get a website going. Well, then you actually have to go out there and create the website. Either you have to do it yourself or you hire someone to do that. Either way, you got to get that website created. You have to take the actions. Maybe for you, it's making sales calls, right? Maybe you're cold calling people. I hope you're not cold calling people. In the 51 Pillars of Wealth, I teach you attraction marketing. It's one of the things I teach you. So I teach you how to get people to come to you instead of you going to them, right? So I know a lot of people, they're trying to market something and they're calling their friends and family or they're posting on Facebook. I don't do anything like that. You want to use attraction marketing and get people that are interested in what you have to come to you, to chase you, to want to buy from you, right? That's what big brands do, right? You see Apple. Apple, right? When they launched the iPhone 7, there wasn't someone that was like knocking on your door trying to sell you the iPhone 7, was there? You didn't go to the mall and there wasn't someone that was like poking you and saying, hey, there's this iPhone 7, you should buy it. No. Big, massive companies use attraction marketing. They get people to come to them. Does McDonald's have someone that knocks on your door that tries to sell you McChickens? They know how to advertise. They know how to market themselves, and they position themselves in the way to where they get people to come to them wanting to give them money, right? Think about it. If you want to go to McDonald's, you have to go to them. You have to get in your car. First of all, you have to make the decision, right? I want some McDonald's. Then you got to drive to McDonald's. Then you got to go to the drive-thru or inside. Then sometimes you deal with someone that's kind of an idiot. But sometimes there's some smart people that work at McDonald's. There's smart and dumb people that work everywhere, right? Then you got to get the food, right? Then you have to pay money out of your pocket. So there's a lot of little steps you had to take in order to go to McDonald's. But you went there, and you've probably been to McDonald's multiple times because they use attraction marketing. All big companies use attraction marketing. Small people that are broke try to go out there and bug people and get them to buy their stuff, right? They don't know what they're doing. That's why I created the 51 Pillars of Wealth, which I know some of you guys are in, and some of you guys have been going through that training and implementing it and showing me all the results you've got and how you're making money, and I think that's awesome. Keep up the good work. Leverage your time, leverage systems, leverage automation. I know I went on a tangent, but the second thing is you got to actually take the actions. You got to do what you need to do. You got to do what you got to execute the stuff. And some people don't do this. I know some people, and they get through the first phase, they go through a course, or they go through some training, or they get a mentor, or they read books and they know what they need to do, but then they don't do it. Then they lack the motivation to pursue and to do it. Well, that's something you need to fix, right? Then the third thing, so recap, you got to know the right actions to take. Then you have to do the actions. Number 3, is that 3? Maybe that looks better. Number 3, right? Whatever. Number 3, you have to stick with it. You have to stay the course. You have to have some faith, and you have to be consistent. So, I was about 70 pounds overweight a few months ago. I lost 40 pounds in 2 months, and I'm consistently losing more weight, right? Well, the first day I started being healthy and I went on a diet, after the first day I didn't say, you know what? I'm still 70 pounds overweight. Fuck it. This isn't working. This diet doesn't work, right? I needed to commit with it. There's a certain amount of time I needed to stick with it to start seeing results. That's how it's going to be for you in anything you do to make money. There's a certain amount of time you need to stick with it, right? And I'll be honest with you, it's going to have to be more than hours. It's going to have to be more than days. It's going to have to be more than weeks. It's going to be months and months, if not years and years. But at minimum, it's going to be months and months. You have to stick with something in order to see real, long-lasting results. And in order to make lots of money, you got to stick with it. When I started the detail shop, right, in the beginning, it was 6 months after I started it, I was making $100,000 a year. But the first day I wasn't making $100,000 a year. The first week I wasn't making $100,000 a year. The first month we weren't even breaking even. I was doing a lot of manual labor and putting things in place to get it going. But I knew this shit that you're learning in this video. I knew that if I knew the right actions to take at that point. So I knew if I just did it and I stuck with it and I followed the mentor that I had, the partner that I had, with the stuff that I learned from books and stuff like that, as long as I stuck with it long enough, I'd make a lot of money and it'd be automated and stuff would be good. And that's exactly what happened, but I committed to it. I had to have a certain time commitment. That's what you need to do as well. 3 things. You need to know the right actions to take. You need to take those actions, and then you need to stick with them over a period of time to allow the actions you're taking to manifest the end result you want into reality. And as long as you do these 3 things, there is no reason why you won't get uncontrollably wealthy.